Distilling all of Audi's redoubtable brand values into a compact hatchback ought to result in quite a car, and the track record of the A3 is certainly impressive. While it's unburdened by pressure to be built down to a price, it nevertheless shoulders the responsibility of bringing new customers to the Audi fold. Make no mistake, the A3 is the most important car in Audi's current lineup.
If you ever needed an example of how well attuned Audi's marketing machine is to its customers' desires, look no further than the original A3, launched in 1996. BMW and Mercedes both had a crack at this market with the 3 Series Compact and the C-Class Sports Coupe, but, and this is crucial, both were seen as cheaper versions of existing cars. The A3, on the other hand, was a model in its own right. It wasn't some sort of tightwad A4 light. And customers who pay premium money expect a premium badge, and that's what they got with the A3. Audi cleaned up, BMW and Mercedes chalked it up to experience. Of course, that was a long time ago now. In 2003, Audi launched the second generation A3, a much bigger car. 2004, the 5-door Sportback followed. In 2005, the A3 got this big Audi family grille. What hasn't changed is that the Audi A3 is still the runaway leader in the premium compact hatch sector. The A3 has never really garnered much of a reputation as a driver's car. Even the Audi A3 models, whilst ferociously quick off the line, seem to have had an element of fun excised out of them. If you can forego a puppyish personality, there's a lot to offer the serious driver. The steering is beautifully oiled, all the controls feel very, very well weighted. The brakes, the manual gear shift is one of the better ones in its class, for example. Much will depend obviously on which engine you choose as to how much enjoyment you get from the car. I've got the very basic 1.9 litre TDI diesel. I've only got 105 horsepower to play with, but like any turbo diesel, it's all about the mid-range torque, and this one will dispatch slower moving vehicles really easily. Most people will go for the 2 litre TDI diesel. It's usefully quicker, it'll get to 60 in about 9 seconds, and it's the car I choose if I was spending my own money. Although the front grille is a lot more strident than before, the A3 remains a soberly styled, albeit very tidily penned car. There's not a single line or angle that really jars on the car, and even the Sportback 5-door manages to avoid looking frumpy. The cabin is the one area where Audi have traditionally driven home a real advantage, but of late a lot of rivals have caught up. If you look at the fascia of the Audi A3, yes, there are some soft touch plastics on the top, but there are also some fairly nondescript finishes in here. Where the A3 has been surprisingly clever though is in terms of packaging. There's this Z-shaped handbrake that frees up space back here for a couple of cup holders. Room in the back is also a lot better than the old A3, although if you're carrying anything much bigger than Litlands, go for the 5-door Sportback. It's got a longer wheelbase, more space in the back. Pricing starts at around £15,500 and goes up to £27,000. Of course, much will depend on how tempted you are by Audi's options list. Needless to say, there are many cheaper rivals. The A3 range is vast. This 3-door model represents the mainstay, then there is the 5-door Sportback, and dealers will also take orders for a 2-door convertible. Customers also get the choice of conventional front-wheel drive or quattro 4-wheel drive on some models. Petrol engine highlights include the multi-award-winning 2-litre turbo FSI petrol unit and the 247 horsepower V6. Most customers will go for a diesel engine. We've got the 1.9 with 105 horsepower, but the 2-litre is a better engine, starts at 140 horsepower, and for not a lot more money, there's a more powerful 170 horsepower version. Trim levels start with just a base entry-level model, and then go SE, Sport, and S-Line, and at the top of the range is that very powerful Audi S3. As with most cars with a prestige badge, once you've swallowed the upfront costs, ongoing running costs are fairly moderate. That's because the residual values are so much better than if you bought a car with a mainstream badge. This A3 is no exception. That's why so many fleet managers like them. Insurance ranges from Group 9 for this model right up to Group 18. If you do choose this 1.9 litre TDI model, you'll get 62 miles to the gallon, and it emits just 119 grams per kilometre of CO2, which means that from October 2008 you can drive in and out of the London congestion charge for free. Even a more sports orientated model like the 1.8 TFSI engine, petrol unit, will still get 39 miles per gallon, which is very good going. Audi's A3 has always been a very desirable, if somewhat pricey package, and this second generation model doesn't deviate too far from that script. It's got a great range of engines, some of them are very powerful, some very economical, and some are a decent mixture of both. It's very well built and it makes sense on the balance sheet. Audi can't afford to rest on its laurels though, because the competition certainly aren't standing still.